We are living in a time of rapid change. Changes in technology, politics, and culture are combining with other variables to move us towards something new. What this something new will look like remains to be seen. The United States seems to be struggling to figure out what sort of country it is, and there is an internal cultural battle at play to decide what the new cultural order will look like. This is not a simple game of Republicans versus Democrats, or an all-encompassing group of billionaires that control the outcome of every major event. Just like individuals, society, which is the collective of the individual, functions with thoughts affecting feelings and with feelings affecting behavior. Those thoughts are reinforced or discouraged through collective and individual behaviors in a manner that is more predictable than we would like to assume. This is not to say that our ideas or behavior can be predicted to a T with an analysis of models derived from complex systems, or that an algorithm can determine the outcome of collective human behavior. Yet, we humans are more like Pavlov's dogs than we would like to admit. When we aren't paying attention, our ideas are derived from headlines rather than evidence, superficial characteristics rather than well-reasoned values, and heuristics rather than complex analyses. But it's our irrational attachment to our beliefs that get us in major trouble. Whether those beliefs come in the form of Nazism, communism, or anarchism may decide what form of human tragedy we will embrace, but it would be a tragedy nonetheless. I realize that I may have eliminated or infuriated a significant chunk of the people watching this by mentioning their preferred form of mass pathology. But we must recognize that there is little reason to expect a positive endgame in a society of fanatics. This is what populism creates: irrational fanatics that are willing to act based on the preferred ideology of the time, on behalf of the collective, and with a deep resentment for anyone that points out the flaws in their beliefs. They are roughly like the victims of the Jonestown Massacre. They wait until they are asked to drink the Kool-Aid to apply reason, and see the people and themselves as individuals. Of course, an intricate ideology is used to back up their beliefs, but they are not their beliefs. They are the beliefs that were given to them by those who determine what is best for the collective. And of course, those who know what is best for the collective do not need you to consider or expand on their ideology. No, they need you to practice the ideology. They need you to apply it. Some of you may think that I'm being hyperbolic and making much ado about nothing, or very little. It's possible that people will reject populism, but that trend does not seem to be occurring. Our universities have run amok with this fanaticism in the form of critical studies that rely not on evidence but on the creation of activists that fight for the liberation of the oppressed collective. Our major media institutions defend the totality of this narrative in practice, and they present the superficial aspects of it out loud. The major institutions and corporations of the United States have decided that their task is to promote conclusions without the evidence to back them up. Racial disparities are not complex problems that need evidence-based solutions. Rather, they are reducible to white supremacy. Gender disparities in the workplace are reducible to patriarchy. Wealth inequality is reducible to exploitation by the capitalist class. The vague solution to disparities is sometimes explained using 3 words that are repeated ad nauseum. The words are diversity, equity, and inclusion. Corporations and institutions can refer to this when they are acting in ways that are perceived as immoral. After all, how immoral can they be if they apply diversity training and make hiring decisions on the basis of melanin levels and the location in which your mother popped you out of her crotch? If it's not enough to obsess about the least important features of a person, then you can always uncover their unconscious biases. Many experts have concluded through critical research that such unconscious biases are persistent and are not at all a farce. But the scientific literature says otherwise. First, it's unclear what these tests even measure. The number of issues with implicit association tests have been explained for quite some time, but we wouldn't know it if we took our cues from a diversity training seminar. In fact, these tests don't even yield consistent results. At any rate, we should ask ourselves why such a failed measure is being promoted as science that can uncover the secret prejudices of individuals. A society that presents its most superficial features, race, gender, and wealth, as its most relevant moral apparatus, is failing in its morality. A morality based on features that an individual cannot control is no morality at all. This is a culture of decay, and it's explicitly subversive if you bother to read its works.